Okay, before we begin, I want to make you a promise. By the end of this video, I'm going to give you the single most important lesson I ever learned about trust and betrayal, and why so many good people repeatedly find themselves surrounded by people who eventually turn against them. Because it will probably challenge the way you think about trust too. But before we get there, I want to teach you exactly what to do when someone attacks you publicly, when they throw you under the bus, when they try to embarrass you in front of other people, when they stab you in the back. Because most people make the same mistake. They respond to what is being said. They never respond to what is being signaled. And if you can learn the difference, everything changes. So write this down. I call it the 1, 2, 3 process for breaking the fog. Because people who attack others rarely operate in facts. They operate in fog. Vagueness, implications, insinuations, half-truths, emotional manipulation. Hey, just a quick reminder, make sure to subscribe to support this channel and join our alliance that is formed of people who are not willing to let other people disappear anymore just because they don't know what the signs are. And as a quick reminder, I'm running a flash sale for our new Founders Program now through Friday. So to take advantage of that, learn more by clicking the first link in the description. And the moment you clear the fog, their power begins to disappear. Step number 1, stop. That's it. Stop. Physiologically, before you defend yourself, before you explain yourself, before you react, stop. I call this the 3-second return. 3 seconds is all it takes, okay? Feel your feet on the floor. Take a breath. Look directly at them and return to yourself. Because the moment someone attacks you, what they are often trying to do is gain control over your emotional state. They are betting that they can predict your reaction. They're betting that they can pull you into confusion. They are betting that they can make you defend yourself. Don't do it. 3 seconds. Find your feet, take your breath, and return to yourself. Then move to step number 2. Ask for clarity. This is where you break the fog, simply by saying, hold on. Pause. Then ask specifically, what are you referring to? That's it. Nothing more, no explanation, no defense. No argument, just clarity. Specifically, what are you referring to? Just listen. Most of the time, something fascinating happens. They cannot answer. They continue speaking in generalities. They continue making accusations. They might just say, I'm just kidding. Don't take it so personally. Stop overreacting. You're getting hysterical. They never identify anything concrete. Why? Because people who are lying and are using manipulation need ambiguity. Specificity is sunlight. Sunlight is dangerous to people who depend on fog. So if they continue speaking vaguely, repeat, no, specifically, what are you referring to? And if they still can't, then say, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. If you have something specific, I'd be happy to discuss it. But if you're going to continue with your vague accusations, there's really nothing to talk about. Then stop talking. Let that silence do the work. And if they continue, simply say, if you ever have something of substance to discuss, I'd be happy to. Until then, I'm going to limit my conversations with you, starting with this one. Then you get up and you leave. You can always choose where, when, who, why, what. Choice. Boundaries. Now, occasionally something different happens. Occasionally people have something specific. That's where step number 3 comes in. Respond to the signal, not the statement. Most people respond to the content. They argue facts. They defend themselves. They explain. Ugh. What is being signaled? An attempt to control the perception, an attempt to establish dominance, an attempt to manipulate an audience, an attempt to control my emotional state. That's what I'm going to respond to. And that's where I use what I call the you can, but you can't, and the reason you can't framework. For example, you can try to paint me however you choose, but you can't demonstrate a single thing that you're claiming. And the reason you can't is because there's not one thing that you're saying that is true. That's it. Notice what happened. I'm not defending myself. I am evaluating your behavior. I'm not stepping into your frame. I am forcing you to step into mine. Another variation might sound something like, I'm not surprised that you chose this approach. Your inability to be specific speaks louder than anything that you're actually saying. If there were evidence, you'd present evidence. If there were facts, you'd present facts. But instead, you're asking people to react emotionally rather than think critically. Do you see the difference? The goal is not to win an argument. The goal is to expose the process. Once people can see the process, the manipulation loses power. There's nothing to defend. This is where it gets interesting, because at this point, people start thinking, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep finding myself around these people? That's exactly the question that I used to ask myself, which led me to what my friend once said that totally changed my life. Years ago, I told my friend something that I was actually proud of. I said, I trust people until they give me a reason not to. I thought that made me a good person, or made me compassionate. I thought that it made me open-minded. She looked at me and she said, that doesn't make you a good person. I was shocked. She said, that makes you lazy. That one stung a little bit. Then she explained and she said, you don't take time to evaluate people as you should. You don't observe them. You don't require consistency. You don't let trust develop naturally. You just hand people the keys to the castle and then you act surprised when they enter rooms where they have no business being. And then she said something that I'll never forget. She said, you protect strangers better than you protect yourself. She was totally right. Trust is not something people deserve immediately. Trust is something people earn with consistency, through character, through demonstrated behavior over time. And when we skip that process, we often end up blaming ourselves for betrayals that were preceded by dozens of signals that we chose to ignore. When we send signals that you don't have to prove anything, I'll give everything to you without you having to earn it, that's a signal. And I'm not talking about the signals that other people are getting. You know, like I'm a nitwit and I don't value anything in my life. I'm talking about the signals that I send to myself. I don't really have anything that's worth caution or that's worth protecting. Nothing. I just give it all away. Do not send that signal to yourself. Most betrayals begin when you stop listening to yourself, when you explain away red flags, when you rationalize other people's bad behavior, when you ignore discomfort, when you override your own perception. The betrayal is never the first event. It's just the first event that you could no longer ignore or explain away. Which brings me back to the most important sentence in this whole video, the sentence that I promised at the beginning. This is the sentence that protects you from becoming like the people who hurt you. When somebody turns against you, when somebody betrays you after everything you've done for them, remind yourself, I do not need to become someone else because of what you have chosen to become. Because that's the real test, not whether they betray you. People betray one another. The real test is, will you betray yourself in response? If this resonates you, subscribe to this channel and take advantage of our flash sale. The links are below. But join this community. We're helping lift one another up. And I'd like to ask you, what is a signal that you chose to ignore when it was obvious? Write it in the comments because chances are your answer will save someone else years of pain. And remember, people who manipulate need the fog. People who tell the truth need clarity. Be the person who brings sunlight into the room. And join us as we lift each other up and out. We're not going to let one more person disappear just because they don't recognize the signals. We can help one another recognize not just the signals, but who we are again. Hey, just a quick reminder, make sure to subscribe to support this channel and join our alliance that is formed of people who are not willing to let other people disappear anymore just because they don't know what the signs are. And as a quick reminder, I'm running a flash sale for our new Founders Program now through Friday. So to take advantage of that, learn more by clicking the first link in the description.